Mr. Hanlon, everybody is present? So we can move on for resolutions for final passage. R2, please.
R2 is an authorization for a contract with Countrywide Restoration for an estimated annual amount of $17,500 based upon the unit prices to provide standard board-up services for commercial and residential properties. There were two bids. One was not compliant with the bid specs, and the contract is good for 1 year. But upon mutual agreement by both parties, the contract may be renewed for 2 additional 1-year terms if the pricing remains the same.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. This was done as bid 2018-26. It was advertised on public purchase. It was accessed by 36 vendors. 2 responses were received. One of the responses is being rejected because the vendor failed to submit the bid security that was required in the bid document. This vendor is new to doing business with the city of Evanston and have not provided a service to us in the past.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. You partially answered one of my questions, but was the disqualified bidder the one that's currently doing the work for us?
Yes.
Okay. So when we talk about the scope of work, are we looking at, is this for any building that the city determines needs to be boarded up, or is this just specifically if there's a fire or anything to that effect?
Most of the buildings that are with fire, I don't know if anybody's here from the department, but most of the buildings that are with fire, those
I see
types of
Mr.
things,
Leitner's here, so.
those fall under the emergency contract. This is the standard contract,
Okay.
so they don't fall under what goes under that emergency classification.
So then this is just for building standards when a property is determined to be.
Correct.
And that's what I thought, but I wanted to double check. And then this is more of a question, I don't know if you can, this might be an answer for the solicitor. Question for the solicitor, I should say, but the liability. Is there a clause in the contract that if the work is not done properly and the property is not properly secured as to who holds the liability, if we have to sign off on the work or what the situation is?
That I do not recall off the top of my head, but I would think that was written into the specifications of it, but I can
Okay.
get additional
Yeah, if you
information
could
on
just,
that.
I would
I'd like
appreciate
to.
that.
I just don't recall the specifications off the top of my head, but I would think that would be part of that's written into there.
That would be great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from council? Seeing nobody. Anybody from the public? Seeing nobody. Mr. Hanlon.
Ms. Appa?
Yes.
Mr. Guidi?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Ms. Moda?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Zuko?
Yes.
And Mr. McLean.
Yes.
President, 7 yeas and no nays.
Thank you. I guess we're going to R3, although since the first one was R2, this should have been D2. R3, please.
Authorization for a contract with the following vendors: Minitech, Hodges Rash, Genesis Turfgrass, Site One Landscape, Supply, and Fisher and Son Company. At the unit prices identified for a total estimate budget of $157,165.56 for agricultural chemicals for the golf course and parks department. This was competitively bid.
This was done as bid 2018-24. It is an annual bid that we do on an annual basis. It was advertised on public purchase and accessed by 25 vendors. 6 responses were received, and an award is being made to 5 of the 6 responses, all based on the lowest responsive bid that was received. And all of the vendors have provided these products to us in the past.
Okay, thank you. So different vendors handle different products.
Correct, and it goes by the lowest bid item for each individual item.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council? Mr. Robinson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one, and this is actually for Mr. Holtzman. Rick, is there a time where do you guys on a regular basis try to look to alternatives for some of these chemicals because of the fact that the majority of our park system and the golf course is in a watershed, and with the rainwater fee that we put on the citizens and the business owners throughout the city, I just want to make sure that we are also doing everything we can to try and make sure that what we're putting into the streams is not going to cause a problem. So I don't know if there's you guys look at that on a regular basis or not.
Yes, we do, absolutely. Chemicals, first of all, we have to absolutely read the label first, and the label is the law. So if a chemical states it cannot be sprayed near a watershed or a creek or pond, we cannot apply that chemical. There are aquatically labeled chemicals that we do use. We don't directly spray into any.
Oh, no, I'm thinking just from the runoff from the, especially golf course.
And I'm gonna say 99% of the chemicals we use do not translocate, so they hit the soil, once they hit the soil, they are no longer, moving, it's done at that point.
Okay, great, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from council? Anybody from the public? Seeing nobody, Mr. Hanlon?
Mr. Grady,
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks,
Yes.
Ms. Moda,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Zuko,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
and Ms. Zappa.
Yes.
Mr. President, 7 yeas and 2 nays.
Thank you very much. R4, please.
R4 is an authorization for engagement of professional services with David Corning Architects for $1,510 for plan revisions for renovations of the Cedar Pool House for ADA and code compliance. It was just a signature.
Thank you.
This was just a single quote, which is what is required for this dollar amount, and this vendor has provided similar services to us in the past.
And the work is self-explanatory. Any questions from council? Mr. Robinson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have 2 questions on this. Who was the original architect? I'm sort of curious as to why the plan wasn't compliant in the first place, and we're having to go back and fix it.
Yeah, the original plan was done by Hornung. So we worked with them to come up with this design for the pool house renovation for the ADA compliance. The original plans were then sent to a third party for review. And from the third party, it was then sent to our building standards and safety for permitting. There was a few issues on the plan that weren't caught at third party or by anyone else, the occupancy of the building and the floodplain certifications. And that means for fixture mounting and things like that. So there is a code compliance for floodplain elevations that have to be followed. That was not in the plan. So some revisions have to be made to this plan for us to have, for code, building standards to give us the permits to do the job. So we couldn't just draw that on, the architect had to make those changes, and that's what these changes are.
I guess I'm just concerned that we're rewarding this vendor for having made a mistake by giving them more money to fix a mistake that they made. I'm kind of concerned as to why they didn't go back and fix it if it was their mistake in the first place without us having to pay them more money.
Yeah, and I understand that, so I'm not an architect or an engineer
Sure.
also.
No,
I
understood.
don't know the codes, so, when we hand in the third party people, we hope that that's their job to review that. So when they get sent back to us, we assume that that's correct at that point. We then send it to our people for permitting. They flagged it. So Matt Wojcicki and Building Standards then sent it back to us. I mean, it was a mistake for sure. Moving forward, these things shouldn't happen. What it did this time, the plans need to be revised for us to get permits to move forward in the work.
When you say the third party, do you mean the construction manager?
So a
Or,
third party, and I believe it was, offhand, you know, it was Codemaster. Codemaster, I believe, was our third party who reviewed it at that point.
okay, so the original architect made the mistake, Codemaster didn't catch it, and it was caught by our inspectors and our planning department. So I guess I'm just, it's just a problem for me that we're paying the same architect more money to fix a mistake that they made when this is something that, they should have caught, number one, and number two, Codemaster should have caught as well. So I can't support this resolution, but thank you very much, Mr. Holzman. Thank you, Mr. President.
I kind of agree with you too, because from reading this, there's no way we know that this was a mistake made originally by the architect. The question for the administration, did we explore as to whether or not we have any recourse on this?
I believe we looked into it with the architect and, this was missed on many levels. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I know that plans had to be revised, things that moved around on the plans. Like I said, the occupancy had to be addressed. And the codes for the floodplain certification and things like that had to be addressed. So I don't have the answer for that. I can understand your concern.
I think that goes hand in hand with your question on the R2, the original one. Mr. Green?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with Mr. Robinson. I think the scope of work that was provided to him should detail whatever he wanted to do. And for us to pay them more for a mistake that they made, I think it's unquestionable to say no to this. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from council? That's the best we heard from him all
I don't
night.
have to say anything. They all agree with what I'm thinking. I can't believe it.
Happy New Year.
He's exactly right. If they make the mistake, they should eat this one. They should, actually, that, if we used them before, they should really step up to the plate and say, we'll do this, we'll correct it. They should have to. If you want to give away more money, then you vote and give it to them. Give away more money. Okay.
If the other thing is that you have a bond, I'm sorry.
There should be something.
Don't they have a bond for this? That we can talk?
No, because this didn't go through a formal process, so they wouldn't have had to submit a bond for this.
Well, that you eat the cost then.
Can I make a motion at this point? Oh, I'm sorry.
Public, yeah.
Still.
No, I'm feeling I agree with your
Go ahead.
motion, so just. Well, I mean, I was just, James Whitney, 924 Walnut Street. I agree with everybody. I would also say that, the way that this can go could be to just vote that we don't pay for this and that we go to another architect, draw these up. But I would love to see this architect have the, opportunity to do this work and eat the cost of this work. That's what we would do in our business, that's what I think anybody else would expect. And I'd like to see this, you know, if this is a person who's provided services like this in the past, we should give them every opportunity to keep their relationship with the city in good standing by doing this work pro bono.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Mr. President, Mr. President, make a comment.
Mayor, go ahead.
I suggest we pull it and we go back to the architect. Don't need to vote on it.
I think that was gonna be Mr. Hendricks' idea too, so. Okay. All right. So pull. Okay. That ends the contract. We'll start city council meeting at 7 o'clock.
That gives us about 12 minutes.